WandaVision. We're on the third episode, but it's really like the second show because last week they gave us 2 episodes at once. This week they gave us another little 30-minute snippet. I mean, it's okay. You know, I wish they would give us more. It would make it a lot shorter, I'm sure, because they've only got a few episodes and they're half hours. So it's like half the size of a regular season show. But it's starting to get good. They're starting to give a little bit more information to us. And it still begs for more questions. You know what I mean? This theme was set up like the Brady Bunch, with the little boxes and the pictures and the music and the whole shebang. It even ends with the Monkees music, which I used to like when I was little. Tons of Easter eggs in this. Vision seems to have remembered something. My thought was Vision could have possibly been one of the villains masquerading, but it looks like he remembered something for a minute. He was like, hey, something's not right here. But then you can tell she kind of zapped him and made him come back. So maybe she's the villain, or she's definitely being manipulated by the villain. Because I remember them saying in the end of the last episode, they were like, Wanda, who's doing this to you? So on the outside looking in, Sword thinks that somebody is doing it to her, right? Which is possible. I mean, I think I know who the villain is. We'll talk about that in a second. She gets from being pregnant to giving birth all in this one episode. And it's like it's going faster and faster because the Vision, with his computer brain, figures that she's going to give birth at the rapid pace that she's going by the end of the week. But she gives birth before like the end of that day. She's like, pops out 2 kids. She's got twins, by the by. One of them shares her power. It's Wiccan. That's one of her sons. The other twin shares the power of her brother, Quicksilver, Pietro. And his name is Speed. And they're twins, just like she and her brother were twins. They're also small pieces of Marvel's version of the devil. He basically, immaculate conception her and zapped her with his kids. So she's got kids and he kind of wants them for his own. So there's that. It's all Rosemary's Baby and everything. I also think that Monica Rambeau might know what's going on. I think she said to call her Foxy in this one, unless I misunderstood what they were talking about at that moment. But she asked her, who are you? And she's like, I don't know. And she is talking to her, and she says something to Wanda, because Wanda mentioned her twin. And she's like, click. It was like all of a sudden, everything, the lights went on. She was like, click. You have a twin brother. He was killed by Ultron. And I'm like, is she in a trance? Or is remembering things putting her in a trance? Or is she just completely confused? I don't know what it was. But she remembered Ultron. She named the brother. She said that he was murdered. She knew the whole shebang. And that put it in Wanda's head. So I'm thinking, with her wacky powers, she could still, if she brought the Vision back, she could possibly bring her brother back. That'd be kind of cool, because he does a lot of wacky things in the comic books that would be cool to see on screen. But she realizes that Monica knows her brother, and she realizes that Monica's starting to remember things. So she tells Vision she went home. And later they show her being thrown through the field. So I'm like, she's got to be possessed in some way by, their version of the devil, Mephisto. But I don't know. Gonna be interesting to find out if that's the thing. Because I'm thinking he's gonna be in Doctor Strange's movie, and I believe Doctor Strange is going to make an appearance on this TV show. He's probably the one that's finally going to, get through and get her out of there. And then, the devil will show up and be like, Mephisto, bam! And then it'll be like, to be continued in Doctor Strange. It'll probably be something along those lines. I don't know, but I think the neighbors, Herb and Agnes, were talking. Well, first Herb was cutting through the wall, and Vision's like, hey man, what you doing to that wall? And he's like, oh look, I'm cutting through the wall. So he's cutting through the wall, and I think that was a metaphor for him trying to escape. He's cutting through the wall, he's trying to get through the wall, and the Vision calls him on it, and he's still like, hey. And he keeps cutting through their fence, their neighboring wall. And then later Vision comes back out there, and Herb is still standing there with Agnes, and they're like whispering. And Vision kind of interrupts him and says, hey, what y'all talking about? And they're talking, they don't really want him to know, but when he turns to leave, Agnes is like, so Monica's over there, huh? Yeah, she just came out of nowhere. And he's like, oh, okay, well, that's not unusual. She ain't got no husband or nothing. And Vision's like, oh, okay, all right, whatever. He's like, yeah, she ain't got no home either. And he's like, excuse me? And then Herb is like, yeah, we're being captured by a monster. Or, he starts to tell a story. And Agnes is like, shh, don't say nothing. Don't do it. And I'm thinking they must know that they're being held captive. They got to know, because he was going to spill the beans, and Agnes warned him not to. So Agnes knew not to give up the beans, and he knew that there were beans to be spilled. So, yeah, what's up with them beans? So I'm thinking that they know what's going on. So at least the two of them, maybe not all of them, but at least the two of them know what's going on. And I think that they're going to turn out to be somebody else. Agnes is going to be like, hey, I'm a witch. And he's going to be like, yeah, I'm a sorcerer. I was trying to help you, but, got caught. Or something's going to happen, and it's going to turn out that those two are different people. I think the doc even has an idea that he's stuck, because he was about to leave town when, Vision stops him to help him with his wife. And when he leaves, Vision's like, all right, enjoy your trip. And he's like, no, I don't think I'm leaving. It's hard to leave this town, hard to leave a small town, hard to leave either way. So he knew. I'm like, wow, he knows. Something's going on, man. The plot is getting thicker. And they showed when Monica got thrown out of the field that they're stuck in with Wanda's own reality happening. When she got kicked out of that field, the sword agents ran up on her, what's going on? You okay? I'm checking on her and everything. So I'm like, she must be a part of their team, because she kind of knew what was going on. Why is she in that bubble in the first place? How does she know about, Pietro and him getting killed? And it's probably on the news, but who knows? How she know about that? Then on top of all of that, she was wearing a symbol of sword. And that's really what upset, the Scarlet Witch. That's really what upset Wanda. She's like, what's that on your neck? What is that? What's that symbol of? And she got mad. And, she was like, Wanda. And she knew that something was about to happen. She was about to get, into trouble. Dad didn't say the business. So I'm like, wow. I'm intrigued. At first I was like, but now it's starting to pick up. It's a rock rolling down the hill. At first it's just sitting there, ain't nothing happening. But now, to this week, it's moving down the hill. And you can see that it's going to pick up speed. You can see that at the end, it's going to crash into something. There's a big bang at the end, and it's picking up speed. That's what this episode felt like to me. I think Mephisto is in it. I think the devil of Marvel is in it. I just wonder how they're going to portray him. He's the devil. He's got to be scary. Doctor Strange is supposed to be the first horror movie for Marvel. So I'm thinking, the end of this has got to be scary. It's got to lead off into something. So that's what I think. That's what I think. But more importantly, what do you think? Now that you've seen this video, have you seen this episode of WandaVision? I hope I didn't spoil it for you. I probably should put spoilers at the beginning of this. Now that I think about it, presto changeo, there's going to be spoilers at the beginning of this. But now that you've seen the video, do you like it? Do you like WandaVision? I am going to give WandaVision a great big old 8 because it's better than last week. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better than last week. So 8 bags of popcorn. That's what I think about that. So tell me if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe, and then like.
Popcorn passport. Get your popcorn passport.